Hi guys, how are you doing? Welcome back to my channel. If you are new around here, hi, my name is Maaru. Here on YouTube I make makeup and mental health related videos. Today we're going to be looking at my artwork. Not too long ago I posted a picture of my painting, one of my paintings, on Instagram, and so many of you responded with really good feedback. I put out a poll to see if you'd be interested in seeing an exclusive YouTube video on my paintings, and so many of you said yes. Here we are today, and I'm going to be showing you the paintings I have, some of the paintings I have at my house. A lot of them are from my art gallery. They do carry a lot of sentimental value. Today also gives me a chance to sit down and give you a life update on what's been happening with me, as well as share these personal pieces of art I created. So if you're into that kind of stuff, please stick around and let's get started. So the first painting I'm going to be showing you is from my art gallery. 2 years ago, the art gallery I had was called Pellucid Uncertainty. Basically, the whole gallery depicted moments of uncertainties, doubts, grey periods of most of what a young adult would have gone through in their life, in that short amount of life that they have lived. Of course, it was more of a personalized gallery with my own experiences and culture background embedded in that artwork. But at the same time, a lot of the moral dilemmas and health issues and things that maybe some young adults would be going through, I wanted all of that to be part of that, and to show that life will go on and it must go on, and there is so much more to life to be lived still. And at the time of the gallery I was 25, I think. It is wonderful to be able to sit down today and share some of these pieces with you, and like I said, it is quite personal, so I really am so grateful that you guys are watching this video. The first piece I have for you is this. It's quite big. I'm struggling to keep it. This piece over here, it's called Change is Constant. What I didn't tell you is I have alopecia, so every time my alopecia flares up, this happens. Bold patches on the head. I wanted to depict that because the first time I encountered alopecia was at the age of 10, turning 11. A rough time at the time as a child, because a lot of my friends didn't understand that it's not contagious. So I lost a lot of friends the moment I started showing up. This was in Sri Lanka. Every time people saw the patch at the back of my head, they would think that it's contagious and that they'll get it, and I lost a lot of friends. At the same time, I gained a few friends, not a lot, but I gained a few friends who didn't assume anything, and they came and asked me, oh, what's that? Is it contagious? If we are friends with you, if we touch you, are we gonna get sick? And I appreciated the fact that they asked me. As an 11-year-old kid, friendships are important. This piece it depicts the fact that change is constant, and it is about embracing the uncertainty, because with alopecia you just really don't know when it's going to flare up again. I mean, it flared up again 2015 or 14-15, the year that my aunt passed away. It did flare up. If you look closely, you'll see that I've incorporated pi, the irrational constant, on here, and I've kind of written it. That nerdy, awesome, maths geeky side that I have. Autumn colors. To me, autumn is not the end of something. It is the beginning, or the prequel to the beginning of something. And so I really wanted to incorporate the autumn colors and the leaves, and have the hair symbolize everything that I have learned about change in life. Embrace change. The next piece I have is, so this piece, it symbolizes the time I moved to New Zealand from Sri Lanka. At the time I left Sri Lanka was going through a civil war, and it was a tough time. It taught us a lot about adjusting to the situation and make do with what you have. It's a really good life skill to have, by the way. This depicts how I felt moving to New Zealand and experiencing the freedom. New Zealand to me is freedom. We've experienced freedom in so many ways and forms in New Zealand, and I'm so grateful to be living in a beautiful country like New Zealand. I really love the spiritual aspect of the Māori culture and language, and I knew I had to incorporate that, hence I had to draw this figure over here. sort of like a Maori goddess. That's my association to Sri Lanka. And every time I look at it, I do get a bit emotional because, I don't know, you know. Sorry, my flyaways are out of control today. The next one, man, I've made paintings in the most weirdest shapes and forms. It's a very long piece of painting. I don't even know how to show this. It's still quite long. It is very long. This painting symbolizes all the ideals and values I've learned or have been fed about education. Coming from a country like Sri Lanka, where opportunities were scarce, especially at the time of a civil war, opportunities were scarce and talent and skills were subjected to the type of opportunities you were given. You could be the most amazing singer, artist, intellectual, but if you weren't given the right type of opportunities, you wouldn't be able to showcase them and show the world how awesome you are. And in Sri Lanka, I know that's the case in most countries, but especially in Sri Lanka, the type of environment we were living in, opportunities were scarce. And so to a lot of young women, and I know my mum and my dad definitely made this a point for us, is education was power. Now, while in developing countries, having an education or a qualification isn't directly linked to being free, or it's not linked to freedom, in developing countries like Sri Lanka at the time, education meant freedom. Being educated meant you can be independent. It gave you freedom to be financially free. It made, you know, it was basically a direct pass into even overseas, which is how even my parents came to New Zealand, because my dad wanted to do his PhD. So from a very young age, we were always told that education is freedom. Now, while it does not apply to everybody, I certainly valued that philosophy a lot. Maybe not anymore because of the society that I live in now, but definitely most of my life I've always wanted to do well academically and as well as in other areas because of these ideals. And it isn't to say it's wrong or right. An added bonus, so you'll see that there is a tree coming out of her head. As I grew older, you know, past teenage years and more into a young woman, I always found it contradicting, especially in South Asian cultures, you know, the whole idea of your sexuality versus, or feeling or looking sexy versus being academically inclined, i.e. if you're a nerdy, you can't be, you know, you can't be other ways, or you can't embrace being sexy and being really smart. And all these, breaking all those ideals and ideas that I was confronted by inspired me to do this and show you can be this and that. I apologize for how awkwardly shaped these things are. Time for second to last, so I didn't pick all my paintings because we'd be here all day. But the next piece of art is one of my favorites, and it's called The Moral Balance. Yay, finally a reasonably sized painting. This is my most favorite. Oh, well, the last one might be. I don't know. It's a tie. I love this. Now, this symbolizes a lot of things. Having parents who come from two separate religious backgrounds made me always think and question spirituality and religion. And it's been a very steep learning curve for me, and I'm at a point where I respect religion, and I do love being part of religious activities and things, but I also recognize that spirituality should be the paramount priority of religion, and that the main reason that religion's formed is to help society elevate to the next level, being higher versions of ourselves. And so art to me kind of played that role sometimes in life, you know, especially when I felt lost spiritually, I resorted to art. Now, a lot of people will resort to religion or religious scriptures, literature, and things like that, and they would have achieved very similar results, or they would have sought those answers. But a lot of the times, artistic literature, artistic content often gave me answers I was looking for, not only at a spiritual level, even just at a personal level. And that is what this is to me, is using art as a moral compass, as a grounding anchor, and embracing and learning from art, is using art as a medium to spread and live in moral balance. Does that make sense? I don't want to blabber too much, but that's what this piece is. Hence the sense of balance. And also, I just love waterfalls. I'm a big sucker of waterfalls. And the very last piece I'm going to show you guys is a painting I did as a very last addition to my gallery. It wasn't going to make it, and then I sat down one day and I said, you know what, I want to see how far I've come as an artist, as a painter. And I painted this piece in 45 minutes, and it's supposed to represent mystery and the future and what the future holds. And it looks like this, a little bit out of the world. So like I said, it took me 45 minutes to paint this one. This is the very last piece I painted, and I was so stoked with the outcome. I thought I could never do it. I never thought I could do something like this so fast. It also showed if I put my head down to do something, give it 100%, I could achieve what I want to, or even achieve things I never thought I could. So there you go. That is the last piece of artwork I wanted to show you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. As for life update, I am currently unemployed. I don't have any job at the moment, which is why I have a lot of time on my hand to focus on art, making more YouTube content, setting up my background, thinking about what I can do to keep active and keep going. And don't get me wrong, I'm sitting like this and talking to you like I've got it all together, but I didn't have it together, nowhere close to being together when it all happened. But I took my time being a hot mess, lived through the emotions, seeked advice from really good friends I trust and who have been through similar process and experience recently. And I know it's a tough time for everybody, so I seeked help and advice from friends I know who have been through similar things, and they've been really good to me. My family's been really good to me, making me food, checking up on me, and doing family phone calls and stuff. So I'm so grateful, finally out of that, living through the emotions and feeling sorry for myself. And you know, we all have to go through that process, and now at a better place. Every now and then the anxiety creeps in, and I think about the future and what it holds, and whether I will find a job anytime soon. And it's a tricky time of the year. It's the festive season, and no one's really hiring at this time. I mean, some people are, so it's a bit of a it is a tricky time. But at the end of the day, I have a lot of things that are worth more. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm sorry it's a little bit longer than I wanted it to be, but I hope this gives you an insight into the paintings and the personal aspects to them. If you are going through a rough time at the moment, just know you have to go through the process, just go through the emotions. Have people that will be kind to you, will be understanding towards you, and will always want the best for you. Cut down on any negative interactions with people that will bring you down or don't make you feel that great. Rekindle friendships that you've kind of parked on the side or you've been too busy for. Engage in activities that you love, create content, create something, food, art, music, dance like crazy, get into gymming or exercising regularly, go on really long walks. There's so many things we can do. So just know that it's okay to take your time, and it's okay to finally get to the end of that process, and then think about what's next. Have a great weekend. I have no concept of time now that I've been home all this time. I will see you in my next video, and please let me know. Please do leave a comment down below what you're up to, any rough patches you're going through, and I'm sure we will all get through it. Have an awesome day. Have a good one. Bye for now.